Welcome, everybody. This is D. Durrell with D. Durrell Life Solutions. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming in at this point. We're going to have a nice discussion, a very interesting discussion, more of a trending topic. I typically don't do trending topics, but I was speaking to a fellow subscriber of mine about this particular topic. I'm going to talk about it a little bit today, just maybe about 45 minutes or less. 45 minutes on this live stream, but I'm going to go into detail on this on D. Durrell the Rebirth. I'm going to go more into detail in regards to the dynamics of the relationship between Kirk Franklin and his son. Um, I was able to listen to the actual phone call. I caught a small snippet of it, which I thought was very interesting. You don't have no context in regards to what led to the argument. So we have very, very limited information. But what it does say is the fact that they have poor communication between the two of them. That's quite obvious. And the fact that his son is in his 30s, basically a grown man, well grown. This is not a man in his early 20s. We're talking about a person that's in their 30s, early 30s. And it seems to me for a father to have to yell and curse and yes, Kirk Franklin did say some less than desirable things to a grown 30 plus year old man. But I think as a father, sometimes the situations lead to you having to have that level of harshness towards a male, your son. I mean, being a father is not an easy job. Being a father is a lifelong job. You never stop being a father to your children, no matter how old they are. You're still their father. Your children are never going to stop being your child, no matter how old they become. However, there should be a certain level of respect that goes both ways. That there has to be a certain level of respect, and there has to be a certain level of understanding as your children become older. You have to adjust how you treat them. You have to adjust how you talk to them and how you give them advice and how you can become a support system for them in whatever issues or trials and tribulations that they encounter within their life. When I listen to the fact that as Kurt Franklin was yelling at him, he was calling him all kind of B bees and and so forth and going at him at that and saying didn't like, I guess, where he's at in his life. His son was cursing him back, was saying things back to him. And I know for a fact my dad is 80 my dad is 84, almost 84 years old. He's 83. I wouldn't dare. I would not dare say the things that this guy said to his dad. To be honest with you, my dad wouldn't have said the things that Kirk Franklin said to his son either. My dad would never say some things to demean me or to make me feel less than a man. My dad would maybe yell at me. My dad has not yelled at me probably since I was probably 16, 17 years old. I'm gonna repeat that. The last time I remember my dad yelling at me was I was about 16 or 17. Even as a young adult man, my dad didn't yell at me. He talked to me as a man. And yes, I understand that as a man, it may be frustrating that you don't see your son taking the initiative of being in a space that he should be at his age. Now, I'm going to dig deeper into, because I understand that they have been in therapy before, which I think which continue to be appropriate if they want to salvage their relationship. But it also shows the fact there's a lack of respect on both ends towards each other. It's definitely that. There's a lack of understanding that we should not be yelling at each other. Why are we not listening to one another? Kirk Franklin is going to have to accept that his son, no matter how much you yell and curse at him, he's going to do what he wants to do. It is not a damn thing you can do about it. His son will have to understand that, yes, your dad is Kirk Franklin. Maybe you didn't live up to whatever people thought you were supposed to live up to, because it may not be easy being the son of a celebrity, particularly if you're not as talented or have some positive things going on about yourself. I can remember as a young boy myself basically spawned into a position where people thought I was going to do some of the same things that my dad did. My dad was a barber. There were people who thought I would become a barber. My dad was a blue collar, hardworking man. He had his own business and he worked full time. And so I looked up to my dad because he worked hard, and I learned my work ethic from him. Shout out to Dr. Bombay. Appreciate you for coming in. You're right. You did heard him. He did say that he is human. He's like everyone else. He does curse. That is correct. And so on. But I'm going to go further into that tomorrow when I do my live stream on D. Durrell the Rebirth. I'm just here just to have a conversation, a small conversation. This is not going to be a large conversation, but a small conversation. Can you all hear me? Okay. I'm going to have a small conversation about this. And in that conversation, that I'm going to go more in depth with, that will be tomorrow, where I'm going to look at more of the dynamics between him and his son. I'm going to touch upon how I, as a therapist, would look at this situation. Because it's obviously a very negative situation that has seemed to have developed over a period of time. And even as this young man is at the age of 30 plus years old, they have a lot of things to heal from, to improve on. Okay? A lot. There's lots of things. Now, I have heard some things as I watched other people comment on it, and I heard the snippet of the audio. I can only speculate. But it sounds like to me, just from listening, his son's probably not living a stable lifestyle. His son probably is not independent financially. His son probably feels entitled. His son sounds in the sense that he may blame others for his own problems. That's true. You don't have command over your children, but you can provide guidance, and you can demand respect. And I would never, even if my dad or mother cursed me out, I would never curse my parents out back. I would never curse back at them as if I'm going at somebody like I am on YouTube or in person. I would never do that. I would never call my dad a name. I would never call my mom or dad out of their name. And it sounds like to me that probably wasn't the first time he did it, because he appeared very comfortable talking to his dad that way. And his dad responded back to him as if he's heard him say these things before. So this is obviously a problem. This is obviously a huge problem. I think I need to make a correction. They saying his daughter. Thought it was his son. So that was his daughter. So let me make a correction. Is it Kirk Franklin's? It sounded like a man to me. It didn't sound like a. That was his daughter? Okay. I have to make a correction. That did not sound like a woman. That did not sound like a woman at all. Not to me. Yeah, I know. Kirk called his son that name. Yes, he did. I did hear something of his daughter intervening as far as his daughter saying something, but the snippet I heard, I could not verify. It didn't sound, the quality wasn't the best. That's why I stated that I'm gonna do a detailed discussion on this topic. I'm gonna do a detailed discussion on this topic. I see Miss Tiffany is coming in. I'm gonna bring her the link. Maybe she can clarify a little bit more, because what I heard was like a minute and 40 seconds, and it was basically Kirk Franklin yelling at his son, and the son was saying something back. So that's the what's up, Outlaw Easy. So obviously we mean that, that there are some issues, and I don't know how that audio got out. I think the son posted that or whatever. Hey Tiff,
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to.
what's
I've been
up?
following. I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to follow up because I kind of been low key following the story a little bit close, and it was an issue that he had with his son.
Right?
Yeah, so him and he, according to sources, his son and him have had a tumultuous relationship over the years.
Yeah, that's what I was stating earlier. I was saying it was about him and his son. Yes.
Yeah. And his daughter came back and clapped back at the son, saying how disrespectful he's always been, and he has this entitled attitude that
Right?
his dad owes him. And I was thinking that this could be something we can discuss in regards to Black families, because we do have a situation, and I'm not saying Kirk is at fault, but where a lot of parents don't know how to alter the relationship as the children age. They want to treat
Exactly.
a adult child like a 5-year old, but then again, there's also some kids who don't want to alter the relationship as they get older. Their parents don't owe them anything.
Right? And
So
that's what I was alluding to, that the fact of, in that exchange there was a lack of respect on both ends, and it sounds like to me that there's some conflictual issues in regards to, I guess, how they treat each other, show respect, listen to each other. I mean, the conversation showed a lack of all the above. But go ahead.
mhm. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And there might be some families that are dealing with that. I know that in my family, I've dealt with, adults, not necessarily my mommy and my daddy, but aunties, uncles, grandparents that don't see you as an adult as you get older. They still try to treat you as a kid, even though you're an adult.
Right?
So yeah, that's what I wanted to interject in.
Yeah. And to me, that could be all types of things. I do know that they were in therapy and so forth. And I'm going to do a little bit further when I go on my other channel tomorrow. I'm going to do a live stream on this and go more into detail with with more things. But I just wanted to throw out this discussion just to kind of have a conversation about it, because prior to me going live today, I heard the video probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before I went live, and I was like, wow. Prior to that, I didn't hear it. I've heard people that were making comments about the video itself, and there are tons of people, basically a lot of social media outlets and gossip columnists and entertainment, so they all played it. So I just felt it'd be good for me to kind of have a small conversation about it, because I'm not going to be on long too long, but I just wanted to kind of just give my initial reaction. And I was just like, wow, that's like, and Kirk Franklin just went in, I'm like, I could never talk to my parents like that. That's
Me
something
neither.
I could never do. Even if they, were disrespectful, I just leave. I
Yeah, I
just
just
couldn't
walk
fix.
away.
Yeah, I could not fix myself to curse back. But you'll be surprised, and there are other in the majority culture that is very that is deemed as that's very typical. Now in
Hmm.
black culture, that's not as, but it does happen. But it's not viewed upon very nicely, and it's not done. It's I mean, it happens. I've seen it happen, but it's not as typical as in other cultures, where the kids are just you just have the freedom to curse back at your parents and say regardless of what's happening. That's just not something that in black culture that we reinforce. I mean, we taught to the biggest aspects of black culture is how we show respect to older people. When we learn that from an early age, primarily, particularly when you're in the South and so forth, that
Yep.
when an adult is speaking, you're supposed to be quiet, and things of that sort. And I know, for instance, for me, there were very strict behaviors that I'm going to let you, respond if you want.
No, I agree with you. I'm from the South. I completely agree with you. That's unheard of in my household. We had a village mentality growing up. My aunties whooped my ass. My big mama whooped my ass. They
Yep.
corrected me. So yeah, but I do remember when we moved here to California, I watched my Caucasian friends cuss their parents from here to hell. Literally. I have been in the room when my teenage peers were cussing their mom, go in the kitchen and make me a fucking sandwich. And I'm sitting here stuck, like, dude. And her
It's
mom went in there and
culture
made her.
shock.
Yeah, yes,
Culture
yes.
shock.
I've
Yeah.
never seen nothing like that. I'm straight from Texarkana, Arkansas, a teenager watching this. Oh my gosh. Like I literally had PTSD because
Right.
I'm thinking her mom finna fucking kill her. But nope. But yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is very prevalent in the white community. And that where kids disrespect, they're very highly disrespectful to their parents, and parents sit there and allow their children to speak like that and say those type of things. The black community get your butt whooped. That's just the bottom line. But other cultures, they sit there and that's the way they operate. Um, what's up, Outland Easy? Any response?
Yeah, just quickly, one of the things that's most disappointing and frustrating is at the end of the day, no matter what the situation is between him and his son, is we have an image problem already in this country. And what frustrates me is we don't want to stick to the keeping things behind closed doors. For him to put it out there to the world, he obviously wanted to bring in the world into that's his and his dad's situation in the family. So it's just a little frustrating that we can't disagree and handle things quietly and try to heal. So now again, I don't know all the ins and outs, but Kirk Franklin is looking crazy as a father. His son is looking dysfunctional, and here he is. He thought he was doing, I don't know what he thought he was doing. He thought he was hurting his father, but he hurt himself as well. I would
Exactly.
argue, like, it's a mess. Like, certain things, we take on too much of the values of this place the old saying about how family handles business behind closed doors, I'm all for that. Again, as long as there's nothing like obviously anybody being touched or abused, like putting it out on front street did. I just don't see how that's gonna help them heal.
Well, what it speaks to me is the immaturity of his son. That's what it shows to me, because I cannot fathom any reason a father would speak to that son in that manner unless he did some outlandish thing that affected the whole family. And to me, it sounds like his son has consistently done things, or consistently done things that actually he didn't approve of, and he seems like he's fed up with dealing with a 30-year-old son that's acting like he's 16. That's what it sounded like to me. But I don't see a reason for a father to speak that way. But at the same time, this guy was cursing his dad back like the hell with you, and so forth. And see, my thing is this, you know, um, the black father has a bad image. It speaks to that too, which I'm going to go further into, because there's a large portion of our community that that didn't have the experience that this man has. There's a large percentage of our population that never had a father that gave a damn to even act like that in the first place. Okay, so for our community, there's people that never spoke to their dad or seen a dead dad a day in their life, and so for them to see that in itself is an unusual thing, to see a dad actually attempting to chastise their son for whatever reasons. So we can look at it from a variety of perspectives, you know. But I personally think that whatever was going on, it should have been kept, between the family and stuff. But his son exposed that to the world, and I think what he was trying to do was to basically passive aggressively harm the image of his own dad. And what he doesn't understand is that he's actually hurting his own legacy, because his dad created a legacy for them. Kirk Franklin has been in Black American culture for what, almost 30 years. Okay. And he will forever be remembered in Black culture. And for you to try to give him a black eye over as a grown man because of whatever things happen, that to me is a little bit disheartening. And again, I think that there's something with his maturity. I don't find him to be a mature man. I think his son is very immature, and his dad's trying to influence him to step up. That's my personal view of it from listening to it. You all can give me your response or opinion.
I have a question. I've heard of parents being jealous of their children. I've even experienced and seen that firsthand in my family.
Right?
But is it possible for a son to be jealous of his father?
Yes. That's why I stated it's not easy to grow up with a celebrity dad that is looked upon a certain way, and people think that you are supposed to live up to the expectations of your father. That's a superstar. I'm pretty sure there were people who told him, well, are you going to play instrument? Are you going to be in the church? Are you going to, be the hype man? Or are you going to do this? And he wasn't able to live up to that. And you got to understand, you also got to look at it like this. I'm pretty sure a person like this, every time somebody talked to him, they asked about his dad first. We and so that's I'm going to touch more into that, because I've dealt with clients, and that a few, not a lot, but I've had a few that have had very what I would say popular, or well-to-do parents that were well known, and in that process it was difficult for them to be you know the the um the child of somebody that popular, and there was a lot of expectations and a lot of headaches that they felt they had to deal with. because of that other people don't necessarily deal with. So I'm going to tackle more into that. But I think I wholeheartedly think that he has some animosity towards his dad. He could be jealous of him. He could be, some other issues with how he was treated. Because notice the daughter went to called him whatever too. So obviously the daughter was defending her dad. So we don't know what that experience could have been. It could have been seen as being unequal. One person saw something this way and the other one saw it another way. I mean, it could have it. There's a lot of different dynamics that's into that. You know. So give me 1 second. Let me let this person in. Okay. So go ahead, Tiffany, if you like this comment.
No, it's very interesting, and I think that we can definitely learn from this as the conscious clientele, the Black family, because I do believe that with the fact that we got to combat white supremacy outside of the home, bringing that stress level into the home does affect the dynamics of mother daughter relationships, husband wife relationships, father son relationships, sibling relationships. I really think that we definitely should do more content to talk, because you never know how many people you might heal
Right.
by, opening up and discussing that from your expertise, from your years of therapy, from your, experience. So yeah,
Right.
it's something I'm interested in learning more about.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely going to explore it. I'm going to go more into detail with it. I wanted to just have because I was kind of thinking about it, and because I know we had discussed it earlier about talking about this. And when I heard it, I was like, wow, I said, I got to say something about this. If it's just, I'm just going to do a quick live on it. And give me 1 second. It's ready? Yeah. Is that everything for you? Yeah. All right. So it's $79.96. Okay. Give me 1 second, too. Do you want the receipt for your order? Do you want the receipt? No, I'm good. Thank you. All right. Okay, I'm back. So I just felt like it was definitely something to kind of think about, because I mean, I thought it was just going to be an argument. I didn't know it was going to be to that extent. That was a bit much, from my opinion.
Absolutely.
And to me, the part
Absolutely.
the part that stood out to me was the back and forth, of him saying things back. That's what really got me. That to me was like culture shock for a man to be cursing his dad out like that. Now I can see, and then you got those who probably had dysfunctional relationships because of the lack of their dad being in their life, that would respond, and that to me, exempt it the nature of their interaction to me corresponded more with a child as an adult who wasn't necessarily raised by their father, but the father is now trying to make up for lost time and trying to be overly indulged in their life, and they push back. But from what I've heard, that's not the case in this
Uh-uh. I
situation.
would I would like to learn more about their dynamics as well, so that we can assess it properly. Meaning, was he married to the mom? Is he the oldest kid? Um, like, how active was he in the life? You know what I'm saying? There's probably so much more to this, like an onion.
Right, right, yeah, and
Yeah, but
so
I look forward to hearing your commentary on it. Really, I
oh
really
yeah,
do.
I'm gonna probably I'm gonna speak on it between 1:30. I'm probably gonna do a live stream on it around 1:30 to maybe 3 o'clock, something like that, 3:30 ish. I'm probably gonna do like an hour and a half live stream to 2 hour live stream on it, where I'm gonna I'm gonna do some digging, and just get some talking points and concepts, and just kind of look at the as far as the history with that. And I'm pretty sure there are different articles and stuff that someone has put out there to kind of comment on the relationship and so forth. And then I'm going to present it in a manner in which, just like I would in any type of clinical meeting, in a sense of how to deal with this type of situation. Um, and obviously, I mean, I don't know the consistency of therapy that they had. I know they've been in family therapy, but we don't know how consistent that was. And we don't know if what was the effectiveness, or maybe this has been an ongoing thing that, been back and forth. I mean, there's just a lot to look at in this situation, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, but again, I mean, like you said, there are a lot of people who talk to their parents like that, and their parents who also feel that because they're your parent, they still like they you know they can talk to you as if you still are a child, or chastise you in that manner, and that's just not gonna work. I mean, you have to know when to let go. I mean, you be there for support, but as you get older and you're an adult, you don't need your needs change. Your parents' needs are changed as a parent, and we have to learn to basically accept that. You know, accept your role changes and not think it's like a one size fit all thing, or the fact that because you're a parent you're allotted a certain privilege, but that privilege is not to be to also not disrespect and cause problems also. That
I agree.
that there's a certain level of discernment and responsibility that comes with that. So yeah, that's very interesting. I'm gonna definitely look at that. Um, but I'm hoping at this point, I hope that they are reconsidering therapy, but I doubt it. I think that after this, he probably cut them off. And you know what? As I kind of look at things, I've noticed in situations of dealing with adult children having problems with their parents, there's always some level of codependency. You know, I've always seen some level of codependency. Either the parent is codependent on the child, or the adult child is codependent on the parent for whatever reasons. You know, so it's gonna. I'm gonna have to definitely look at that and see what I'm gonna come up with and present it. Doug says, "Who knows how is the relationship between Kirk and the son's mother as well?" Yeah, that also can have an issue with it. Um, Dr. Bombay says, "Well, we'll need to have all the facts from both sides to really give a good assessment." And Doug says the son is the oldest, not sure if he was married to the mother, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was either. Matter of fact, I don't think he was either. But I would definitely find out. I will find out as much as I can. Um, this is not the first time Kirk Franklin has been in the news for having issues. As we all know, Kirk Franklin does have an addiction to porn, which caused problems in his marriage. Um, he's had addiction to porn. I don't know what kind of problems that may have presented. In his marriage, what he may have done and said in front of the kids. I mean, this thing can go in all types of ways that we, it could have an endless issues. But we definitely gonna look at it. We definitely gonna I'm definitely gonna tackle these issues as I review more things. But I just wanted to have a conversation about it, just to kind of see what you all think about it, because I'm going to go live tomorrow and talk more about it. I see a lot of people discussing this. I see it all over YouTube pretty much. I see so many people giving a opinion with limited information. I mean, when you really listen to the voice snippet of them, the conversation, I mean, it was very intense. The son got tired and just hung the phone up. He didn't want to hear it anymore. I mean, he got tired of, Kirk saying this and saying that. I mean, that's just basically what happened. And so this also goes to say that, when you look at the genre of gospel music, a lot of these guys not as holy and not as intact. Look at the when you look at the life of Mary, they had all types of issues, marital issues, and so on. They all had issues. There's I forgot this lady. It was a lady here. Look at the Sheard family. The show that was done on them. They had a host of issues. A host of issues. They had a host of issues. And it just went on and on and on. There's a lady here in Houston, I forgot her name. She had heavy alcohol issues, and she was a real popular gospel singer. Just a lot of variables. Yeah, Doug, that could be an issue too. I mean, who knows? He probably feels like an outsider. And sometimes families can do that. You can feel like an outsider in your own family. You can feel that way. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this live stream up. This was just a short little live stream. I wanted to just have a discussion on this topic to see. I hadn't done create a live stream on this channel in a while, and I need to do more. I need to do more content here. This is my other channel, and I'm glad that you all were able to come in that have listened to the channel and so on, that have listened to me do live streams, who have listened to me and so on. I'm glad for you to be here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And again, as I repeat, just to let you know, guys, I'm probably going to be working on some uploads in the next day or two for D-Darrell, the Rebirth, and Life Solutions. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow on Kirk Franklin and his son around 1:30 tomorrow. On Thursday, I'm going to do a live stream during the day on both channels. And then on Friday, I'm going to do maybe a couple of live streams at the day and night, at nighttime on D-Darrell, the Rebirth, because that's my prime time channel. And I hope you all will be there to witness everything. I also will be celebrating the anti-fraud warrior queen being buried. That's going to be brought up. But with that being said, guys, y'all have a great day. Just wanted to have a conversation. Peace.